The Art of Relationships radio show is copyrighted. No one is to use any part of the show without express written consent from myself, Greg Dzinski, or the Art of Relationships. Thank you.
Welcome to the Art of Relationships radio show. Greg has been a relationships expert guest host on numerous radio shows. He promises that this show is for you and to help listeners. This is not about shameless promotions and bragging about himself like many others out there. The Art of Relationships radio show is for you in helping you become more fulfilled, healthier, and happier in your relationships and lives. Licensed relationship and sex counselor Greg Dzinski. The Art of Relationships radio show will cover crucial elements in rebuilding emotional and physical intimacy, plus help in reigniting the passion in your romantic relationships. He also welcomes live calls from listeners in helping with these very challenges. No more tit-for-tat arguments. Greg gets to the root of couples' challenges in a rapid, matter-of-fact format, plus applies compassion and humor. Join in discovering how to improve your romantic relationship and your own life. Listen, laugh, and grow happier. Greg is a licensed professional counselor in the state of Michigan. To others, he's simply known as Master G.
Hey, everybody, it's Greg Dzinski right here, a.k.a. Master G, licensed professional counselor, relationship, and sex specialist in the state of Michigan. A lot of people might think maybe a little crazy doing the show. It's Game 7 and frickin' Red Wings are playing. And Stanley Cup playoffs. So how dedicated am I to the show? Here we go. Okay, 0-0. So I don't know what the score is now. I listened to a couple minutes ago. So hopefully you are, if you're watching the game, you can listen to the show as well. Watch the game, listen to the show. There you go. And maybe you can also join me on the live chat if you are listening to the show on Spreaker or the Art of Relationships own app. Okay, so I got the chat. That's going to be up in a moment. And you can please give me a call. 586-212-4196. Again, 586-212-4196. Everybody, I appreciate everybody showing up tonight to the new time, 9 p.m. Eastern time, okay? So hopefully people join me from all over the country. We'll be able to listen up and be clued in, and that would be awesome, okay? So, as always, this is the Art of Relationships radio show. And, introducing a new format change. I know, again, Greg, holy shit, get your head out of your ass, right? I am going to be on. This should be a long-term thing, absolutely long-term. I am switching from Sunday evening show because the time just was too early, and hopefully going with a lot more increased market with the Fishbowl Network out of Texas, and they do get 1.8 million listeners a month. So I will be in their Uncut Bowl. That will start next Monday, May 4th. And I will be on 10 p.m. until midnight. So listen up. You can let the little kiddies in bed, sleeping by that time. You know, maybe get you in some mood to groove with your lover even. And maybe listen both, and you both can get clued in. That way you don't take things out of context. Again, the show is all about you, so hopefully it's going to be some awesome positive changes where more people will be able to listen, and it'll be a lot easier to listen to them than have maybe little ones run around if you do have them, okay? And get your, running around for the evening after work going on. Those people that work afternoons, you can hopefully listen in as well and maybe put your bosses in a better mood and get clued in, okay? So I got the live chat up. Again, you can give me a call live, 586 212-4196. Okay. And tonight, we're going to talk about, and I didn't really mention this on Facebook, whatever. I wanted a free-for-all, sort of a potpourri thing. Let me hear your comments and what you want to hear, what you want to talk about. But I want to kick it off and talk about the power, maybe the power of flirting. Maybe this is more for people that gone through a divorce. Maybe the single people out there as well. However, people, I want you to integrate this into your own relationships, right? Did you lose the art of flirting versus you guys just out there? What do I say? Yeah, we flirt. We say F you and F you too. That's our way sort of sex talk, right, when we get ticked at each other. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you guys, kicking it up in the art of flirting. And where has it gone maybe over the years? If you've been together for a substantial amount of time and you guys don't flirt anymore, right? And we're going to talk about, maybe avenues to flirt. So this is going to help. This is going to be for both the single people out there and the people in relationships, right? Did you lose the art of flirting? And what do? Do you take each other for granted? And, it's hump night, by the way, Wednesday night. And we are going to have sex because that's what we do, right? You just expect it. Yeah, or do you take each other for granted? And a little flirtiness goes around, right? And everybody has their own flirtatious style and what works for you. And we're going to get into these, right? And maybe I'll just run those down and talk about, we'll get more descriptive in a bit, but we're going to hit on, different flirting styles, right? What about physical? Everybody knows about the physical, right? We're going to get into that, the body language and all those aspects too. You look at, what works for you in, the physical, using body language and all this. And what about some aspects? Are you the gentleman or the lady and you're sort of use the polite form, right? Do you use the polite approach and try to be kind or whatever? And a lot of people that hits on this, the polite, the polite or the manner approach, using manners, it's great. It works for some people. But some people, this might throw them into, oh, he's a nice guy category. Automatically throws him in the friend zone, right? Maybe it works. And we're going to get into this in another aspect that sort of goes with the polite mode. It's sort of the sincere approach as well. And what's the difference between those two? Between the polite and the sincere approach? This is, you're going to have to listen for me to sort of differentiate between the polite and actually being sincere in both, right? You're thinking manners and using polite, but how many people out there, how many players out there, ladies, all of a sudden, they might use the polite approach or use manner approach, whatever term you want to use manners so gentlemanly and all this stuff. And all of a sudden, you find out down the road that's a bunch of bullshit. And it's, they're players, man. They're just using it as an act. So that is going to be the huge difference. And not that people that use manners and polite are playing you or players, not at all. But I want you to sort of weed through the differences, okay? So, we're going to differentiate between polite approach or manner approach, sincere approach, physical approach. What about traditional? That sort of makes me sick, right? And I'm going to get into traditional approach. And I think, this was in the 50s, 60s, all this stuff. But I think it's still used today by, I love women that call themselves, I'm a traditional, right? I'm an old-fashioned girl. And as people know, I asked, do you believe in premarital sex? Well, of course. Well, don't tell me you're old-fashioned or traditional then, right? Don't pick and choose, ladies, or gentlemen for that matter, not to be social bias, okay? I want to hit on another one, and this might be another way of flirting or a different approach to flirting. And this, I might know a little bit more about this because I think maybe this has something to do with me. And this is maybe the playful style, right? How many people have used, a little playful, a little joking around, a little smart ass? Well, me, I might be a big smart ass. But you use sort of the playful approach or concept of flirting. And does that work for you? Does it work for everybody? No. If you're more serious, whatever, and you try to use the playful or joking around approach to flirting, you might come across as, what about cheesy? We're going to get into maybe different mechanisms about what constitutes and what works for you, and to incorporate this. Like I said, it's not only for the single people out there. It is for people in relationships. Do you still flirt, right? Or even, when you're in a relationship, part of flirting is, do you sort of take nude pictures? Now, some people are into that, some people aren't. Nude pictures. Now, smartphones have these video capabilities, all this stuff. Is that one way of flirting? Yes. Now, what category would that fall into? Well, guess what? You are going to have to listen up to find out more, okay? Haha. A little bit of a teaser. I'm going to take a quick little breather, just starting off. I know it's not right. I'm going to take a little break. I'm going to come back in a few minutes, okay? Just be a quick little break. And we're going to get into flirting approaches and maybe differentiate. How do you interpret and how do you maybe pick up body languages, right? And this tends to be so difficult, and most of them, right, ladies out there, most guys might not have a clue or tend to misread body language. Oh, she wants me. And all of a sudden, she's looking by you at another guy behind you. You think she's checking you out or showing you that she's interested, and all of a sudden she's looking through you, around you, over you, and you're thinking, oh, yeah, man, she wants me. And you're like, oh, boy. This is the Art of Relationships radio show. I'm going to be back in a few moments. Thanks for listening, people.
If you're looking for that unique, cool fashion statement, check out Shoes by Shay on Facebook. She has hand-painted, hand-designed canvas shoes for you, your loved one. It's an inspirational piece unique to your own taste. Check out Shoes by Shay on Facebook. Again, that's Shoes by Shay on Facebook.
Hey everybody, it's Greg Dzinski back on the Art of Relationships radio show. I mentioned it would be a short little break, and I wanted to keep it short. I actually needed to blow my nose, and not that you need to hear that, blow my nose, and take an allergy pill. My freaking allergies here in Michigan are kicking up a little bit. So, I didn't want to sneeze and sort of sneeze all over the mic and have you guys hear it. I guess I could have blocked it out, but I ain't want to frickin' have boogies all over the mic. So, getting back to different styles of flirting, okay? And we mentioned individual chat, almost revealing pictures are a good flirting tactic. Very, very true. And I answered, yeah, even, with the cell phone videos, I mentioned this before a little short break. You look at the aspects where, those are ways of flirting. And believe it or not, both women and men, not all, like, sort of revealing pictures, right? Ooh, or even the videos. And individual on chat, I'm like, almost revealing pictures. What the hell's between almost and revealing? Okay, I get it. Maybe a shirt just cut low so your boobage, your nipples aren't showing. Maybe that's almost revealing. Revealing would be totally naked, right? Okay. So, get back into different ways of flirting. The physical. I want to hit on that first. The physical, everybody hits on, nose, probably most common with the physical approach, right? And you look at different ways with body language and how good are you at reading body language, even, for single people, but even when you're in relationships, right? You sort of lose the art of flirting. You lose that with each other and trying to figure out what the heck is going on as far as, picking up those vibes again. Remember how you could just look at somebody and you have that animal magnetism, like, oh, God, I want to rip their clothes off. And that's for both genders, right? Oh, my God. Or, you know what? She looks interesting. I'd like to meet her. Most times it's a physical attraction. You catch each other, right? You catch that look in each other's eyes, and it's like, wow, right? And body language is huge, and a lot of guys miss on this. We all, the women twirling the hair. Some women twirling the hair, playing with their hair, could mean two things, right? Either the woman is bored shitless, definitely if she's playing, flipping her hair, that's more, I think, more of a flirtatious thing, but, right? What the hell do I know? A woman twirling her hair, whatever, that might be like, oh, God, I'm bored shitless, right? If she's more twirling or curling her hair in front of you, chances are she is bored shitless, and she wants you to either pick up the pace or it's too late, you already lost her, okay? So, the body language, what if you move in closer to each other, right? Women, I got to give it to you. Women are pros, and they pick up on body language a lot. Right? They pick up on, I wouldn't say a lot, but they pick up on it very, very well. Not all women, but most women. I don't know if it's in their DNA or if they're, oh, wait a minute, showing their neck could be flirting by playing with their hair. Well, yeah, that's absolutely, right? And that's true. Now, you also look at the avenue where, the difference between flipping and curling their hair out of boredom, right? And the body language. Both men and women, you look at, do you move closer to each other, right? Or are you standoffish? And the old body language, the arms crossed or maybe arms folded in front of them is a way to say, stay the hell back. I'm in my safe zone. I don't know if I really am jiving you that much. That sort of defense moves. But if they move closer, their arms are separated, right? This is not only for the women. This is for men, right? Usually if they're going more into you, right? And the playful approach, the physical approach can be very subtle, right? Especially if those people are shy, maybe a little awkward. Those that have been married for a long time, say 20 years, 10 years, and they haven't dated. They're awkward. They're trying to find themselves again in the dating realm. So, part of these can be subtle, and you need to pay attention. If they sort of reach into you, right? And one smooth thing is, too, I'm giving away my secret. Say someone's talking to you, right? And you're interested in them. You're thinking, they're cute, hot, sexy, whatever, right? Then you look at, they're talking to you, and you sort of I'm sorry, what'd you say? Especially if it was in a louder environment, or even a, louder, it could be a restaurant, a park, whatever, or there's maybe outdoor music, especially in the summer, going on, or whatever noisy event. You can, I'm sorry, what'd you say? And you lead in, so they repeat it. How smooth is that, right? Is that smooth? I don't know. But that is sort of that you're not afraid, not even afraid, that you're interested in being closer, right? Or ladies are so smooth, they'll sit there and joke around, they'll tap your hand, right, ladies? You just hit their hand like, I'm interested. Now, if she's sort of punching you in the face, that's not meaning I want to get close to you. That means I want to get the hell away from you, right? And another one, right? I love sending my husband videos, but out of everything, he does the thing that drives me crazy is when he winks at me from across the room. I just want to jump him right there. Hey, I wink. Wait a minute. No, I agree. It's a look that you get, and that's part of the physical aspects. We talk about the hair, the body language, about leaning in, about moving closer. These are all part of the physical approach to flirting, right? Touching. Some people can be so smooth and, joking around, they sort of touch. That's funny. And believe it or not, a lot of people, they earn trust. When people go to shake hands or anything, how you doing, and you touch their arm, touch their forearm, or even a little, oh, hi, how you doing, and you might not know them that well, that, a simple touch on the bicep area or top of the arm, that is almost like, you know what, I'm safe. And it makes people feel sort of safe. Now, I'm not talking you're going to go and, sort of meet somebody and, start talking. All of a sudden you grab her ass or she grabs his ass. Actually, that might work for guys. But you look at, you don't want to be disrespectful. So the body language, pick it up. The eye bats. Women are so smooth at batting the eyes. Guys, are you able to maintain direct eye contact? We got a couple ladies on chat, and I want to know, you mentioned about the wink across from the room when your husband does that. It drives you nuts, which is awesome. What else drives you nuts? Do you like it when guys sort of, they're talking with you and they're looking at you? I mean, looking like into you, into your soul, into your eyes, like they're paying attention. Does that form of active flirting, right? You might not even know it. But does that drive you nuts, ladies, when guys do that? That you look intently and you look directly in their eyes. Part of that is confidence, right? A lot of people, especially getting back in the dating realm, if you're, recently divorced out of a long-term relationship, or maybe even shy and you haven't been, in a relationship, that the direct contact, or I should say, I'm sorry, with the eyes, the gazing contact, there we go, that might be a better term, gazing contact of knowing that, almost not the piercing. I'm not talking the creepy control freak, I'm going to stare you down, but your intent, right? You're intently paying attention at what he or she has to say. Okay? What else with the physical approach, right? Slight touching, right? Ooh, I know it, and it works great. I love when they look into you. Yeah, see? I've been I got soulful eyes that I've been told sort of before, I need to quit revealing my secrets because I don't want any guys out there to have any more game than me, damn it. But, no, teasing. But, looking that I have sort of soulful, piercing, deep eyes. When I'm paying attention to somebody, I have deep eyes and sort of have people get sucked into them, if you will, if you know what I mean. So, but what happens if you do that and the person's not interested in you? Then you sort of come across as a dork, right? But then you know, because they're looking out of the way. They could be either shy or whatever. So that's what I mean. The physical art of flirting is very, very, you can pick up on just reading mixed messages, right? You know, maybe they look away from you and you're looking intently into them. They're looking away. Maybe they're shy, right? And how do you figure this out, right? Maybe a slight touch, you know, on the hand. Hey, you know what's going on? It's so cool, man. You know, sort of glad to be here. And you sort of tap them on the hand or arm, whatever, depending how you're sitting. If you're sitting across or next to them, it's easier to sort of, but it's sort of cool being here, you know, slight little bump. Ooh. I'm not talking grinding, sexual grinding like on the dance floor. No, when you first meet somebody. But how often do you do this to your partner? How often have you stared into each other's eyes? And there's an exercise I give couples in my office about intimacy building. You know, when was the last time you stared into each other's eyes? Did you used to do that and you just couldn't take your eyes off of one another when you first started dating or got married, right? That is a form of flirting, and a lot of times we don't even realize it. It's just that, you know, whatever. And, oh, God, what the hell are you looking at? And you're like, oh, shit, here, you know what? I'm trying to be flirtatious. I'm trying to be playful. I love you. I want you deep. Oh, I'm not in the mood. And then you're like, oh, boy, right? In a relationship. And I'm not going to get into that. That's for another episode. But you look at the elements and, you know, the flirtatious aspect. What did you do? What do you do when you're flirting when you're single, ladies and guys, right? Why do you stop it when you're in a relationship? You can still be playful and maintain that chemistry through flirting in your relationship, right? Lean in, get closer, touch, awesome. Gaze into each other's eyes, right? The physical aspect, touching. Ladies, do you bat your eyes? Do you flip your hair like, ooh, that come hither? You know, like in a chat they mentioned about revealing the neck while you're flipping the hair. How often do you do that in a relationship? Ooh, or do you stop? Do you get to be a little lazy? I don't know. I'm just asking, right? Okay. So, physical aspect. Everybody knows, you know, maybe you kick each other. How many people do that subtle little hit, you know, underneath the table if you're sitting across from each other, even next to each other, right? Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to bump you. And they're like, and you're waiting for them, right? That's sort of flirty on the physical, and also maybe a little playfulness too. But, you know, you sort of underneath the table, whatever, you move your leg, or bump foots. Oh, I'm sorry. And they're like, oh, that's quite okay. You know, you playing it safe and waiting for a response from them. Oh, yeah, that was, you know, you look for them if they got a smile. Oh, I didn't mind that at all. Then, you know, you're sort of playing as a flirtatious barometer, if you will, to see if that person likes you or not. And that works for both men and women. Do you play footsies underneath table when you're out, when you're dating even? You know, when you're dating, been in a long-term relationship or married for a while, do you stop that crap, right? You need to go back to that. Go back to the ways you flirt. Big time, right? Physical. Get closer. Lean on each other. Lean in. Touch each other often, right? When you first started dating or meeting somebody with flirtation, no, you don't want to get overly touchy. Little touch here and there, whatever. You know, you sort of touch them. Oh, I'm sorry. What'd you say? It's smooth, right? You can do that. Ladies can do that, right? And people that shake hands and touch, they feel safe. People like touch, but you don't want to grope, right? You don't want to be disrespectful. This is friendly gestures, friendly touch. Got it? Okay. So flipping the hairs, guys in the eyes. Maybe you can wink, right? Ladies tend to go after that unless the guy comes across as a dork, right? So what's the difference? Well, we'll get into that later. You know, difference between a guy being smooth and a guy sort of being cheesy or a dork with the physical approaches. And maybe ladies out there in the chat room, and you can call me 586-212-4196 to give me maybe definitions. And I want to hear your insights. Everybody's different, right? Between dorky and cheesy and sort of being smooth, right? Okay, now, going to get back into, like I mentioned, the difference between being polite and sort of being sincere, right? And I think everybody sort of can sort of read on the sincere aspect. This is showing, you know what? I think you're cool. I want to ask you out, right? Oh, what if you're dating someone and you sort of try footsie or something subtle? I just talked about it, and you get no response. Maybe, I would say, maybe you need to try a little more. Ooh, right? Maybe you need to try not to be so, maybe bump up the subtleness a little more, okay? Maybe they're thinking you did it on accident, which, you know, you want to make it look like that anyways. You do it on accident, but maybe you need to kick it up a notch and maybe not be so subtle. Some guys might be sitting back and, I just talked about that. Shit. Thanks, Princess Fu. You know, you need to be more. Some guys are like sitting back. Oh, shit. Was that an accident? She just bumped me. No big deal. So you can do it again. Oh, you know, like Princess Fu mentioned, you know, do it again. Rub their thigh on the first date. Oh, come on now. I thought we're talking about, yeah, no shit. When you're on a first date or whatever, trying to vibe somebody, or you meet somebody somewhere and you're having coffee first time, I don't know if you're going to rub their thigh. If I go to rub their thigh, I might get punched or slapped. But most guys, right, you rub a guy's, it was in a class, oh, I can't be totally, it was in a class, holy shit. Oh, God, okay, in a class. But you look at, yeah, I can't play footsies in a class. I'm the damn teacher with people. But anyways, but, you know, rub their thigh. Those are more subtle. I get that. And some ladies are, believe me, they're very upfront that they're interested by rubbing your hand, grabbing your hand. Oh, now you say not on the first date. Yeah, way to back it up, foo. But you look at the situation, those aspects. But I want to get back to the sincerity, right? You know what? I really like you. I'd like to take you out. No bullshit. You're being sincere, right? You're being sincere. You know, I think you're cool. I'd like to take you out, right? You be sincere, almost upfront, no bullshit. That is the approach. Now, does that work for everybody? It could, right? I always find it there is nothing wrong with being sincere and being upfront. You know what? I like you, or you know what? I'm interested, right? And then you be honest. And that way you know upfront if they have an interest or maybe not, right? If you are, like individual in chat mentioned about playing footsie in a classroom, or you meet somebody, you know, the old bar scenario, or maybe, you know, in a class or a group meeting or whatever, you know, the meetup.com is a good way to meet a lot of people. If you're not into the, you know, the bar scene at all, I know, or meetup, you know, meetup.com has a bunch of groups as well, so you can check them out in your area. They're a great way to meet different people. Not necessarily dating thing. Everybody knows the online dating aspect is a multi-billion-dollar industry. We don't want to hear any goofy lines. Just be straight up. Hold on. Wait a minute. I am getting into the playfulness a little bit flu. When I goofy, I'm funny, not goofy. So you look at the situation. You know what? I'm interested in you, man. I think you're cool, right? Or how many ladies, you know, if you're out somebody and if a guy, you know, I get it. You want him to be cute and studly and all this, ladies. But if a guy come up to you and didn't even really know you in a grocery store or whatever and said, you know what, I think you're pretty intriguing. Give me a call. Would that work for you, ladies? Would you end up calling him or even text him? You know what, I think you're pretty cool. You know, I think you're intriguing. Or I think, man, I really think you're interested, man. I'd love to talk to you. He gives you a number and just walks away. How would you handle that? if he, let me guess, right? Ladies, if he's hot, you're going to text or call him, right? If he's not, you're going to frickin' rip it up, throw it away, and say, oh, my God, what a creeper. And that's what I said about, flirting, whatever. The difference between a stalker and a potential partner or lover is if they're hot or not, right? So the sincere approach, I love it. It's no bullshit. Someone's interested. They're going to like you, so they're going to ask you out. Now, can you be sincere? I'm interested in you, and they be a player? Of course, right? They can be a player, and the ladies, being sincere, absolutely. And can ladies be more upfront and sincere about asking guys out? It's 2015, after all. Can you be sincere in your approach and say, you know what, I think you're pretty cool, you're funny, you're whatever, you know what, I think you're a nice guy. Oh, God, that's a kiss of death. But you know what I mean? To ask them out, to be sincere, and be straight up about it. That is awesome. Ooh, if he wasn't a creeper, I would call. If I was single. They're all different types of hot. I agree, and I think there's different types of hot for women and for men. I think everybody's different. Everyone has their definition. I agree. So if you're single, that'd be cool. You know what? I think that's awesome, Foo, that you would do that. I would love that. So that is sort of being a subtle, not so much subtle, being upfront, being straight. But the sincere is just that, just being sincere. Know that you have an interest in a person. And ladies, don't be afraid. I know you're fearful of rejection, and you sit there, oh, guys need to ask somebody out. You know what? That's a bunch of bullshit. That is way, 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 way back, old school, right? When it comes down to it, and I talk about this in human sexuality often, that when it comes down to it, and women always say, right, well, that's a guy's job. The guy should ask you out. And I think that that's a crock. When it comes down to it, the foundations are that women, you're just afraid to risk, to be rejected. Well, that's what the hell us men go through, okay? So if you like someone, put yourself out there. I'm all for that. Be flirtatious, right? Be sincere and tell them. Got it? Okay. Now, the sincere aspect, does that work in a relationship? Does it? Ooh. I want to know. Does it? Would it? The physical, absolutely, we talked about. Now, the sincere, yes, it can, right? I love you. I think you're sexy. I think you're attractive. I think you're beautiful. Those are being upfront, and those are being sincere, right? So, yes, they can. And I think the sincere aspects, part of flirting, goes into compliments, which a lot of people, they die after the relationship go on for a while. I'm not saying, and I don't condone or ever agree that they should die. I'm all about making sure they don't die and they keep going long term, right? So you can be sincere in compliments. And maybe sincere also part of flirting. You know what? I really appreciate that. That's awesome. You give them a hug, so you can incorporate being sincere with compliments in a relationship, and also with the physical by giving a hug, a kiss, even a touch, right? Okay. Now, the difference between the sincere and the polite aspect, right, is that the polite aspect is using manners, right? Good manners. You should use manners and everything else. But if you're coming off like a stiff and being robotic about manners, and it's not your style, I'm all about manners and being courteous and being polite. But, like I said, a lot of times what'll happen, it is maybe not direct enough, for one. It might be too subtle. It might be in the nice guy. Also, if they're being too nice or coming over the top with too much manners, they're going to come across as fake, and even that they're players, right? You always know, and people always know out there, especially ladies, right? A guy is being over the top polite. And I'm all about manners. I think they're, we need to get manners back. Opening doors for people, saying thank you, please, whatever. Basic manners and common courtesy and being nice. But when someone uses manners too much, it comes across as fake and that they're coming at you at an angle, that they are trying to get something. And they're looking at aspects about, is this person legit or are they just a player just trying to, and you look at them, is that really working for you? So that is the difference between the polite aspect and being sincere, right? Sincere, you're using manners. You're not over the top. You're being genuine. The polite approach is different from the sincere, again, that it usually comes across as being cheesy, being fake, right? You can be sincere and use manners, but the polite approach tends to be almost too goody-goody, that you don't have too much of a genuineness to you, that you're being fake, or you have ulterior motives, okay? So you want to watch that approach and sort of kick that to the curb. Got it? You integrate. I'd rather have the sincere approach, and you can use manners. But if you're using manners too much, you come across as disingenuous, okay? Now, we're going to get back. Oh, I want to save the best for last, or my best for last. The traditional approach is basically the men chasing the women, right? Back in the 30s, 40s, caveman times, up through the 60s, whatever, where men, come across as, me man, you woman, I want you, you come with me, right? It's a guy sort of taking the control. And I know a lot of women like this, but, there's a difference between being a control freak and taking control, right? You want to ask, woman, if she's interested. You're more or less telling in a traditional role that the man is up here and the woman's there, right? So the traditional role, I don't think that works anymore in today's society, right? In different cultures, that's going to work. But in America, I don't think the traditional approach is going to work as much, okay? So the traditional approach, you look at the elements about the guy, me man, you woman, I want you, you go with me, where the guy always makes the first move, right? No, ladies are very smooth, right? Batting the hair, like I talked about the physical elements of getting a guy to approach you, right? Ladies are smooth at this, right? But with the traditional approach, right, they might think if the lady is flirting with them too, and maybe they might be apprehensive. These guys that are in traditional role might think, oh, the woman is trying to be controlling. I don't like this, so I think she's a slut or a whore. You get my drift, ladies? That's not always the case. So these guys, typically in today's time, it usually does not work. You want a balance for them, right? And a lot of women that are hip, that are cool, that got it going on and comfortable with themselves, this ain't going to work for them because they're going to be like, you know what? I ain't freaking marrying like a dad type, right? That's going to control me, or like a boss situation. You don't want to be in that situation. That's more of the traditional, and I don't think it works all that well. So, going on to the last approach, probably my favorite, is the playful or maybe joking around approach. Yes, you can come over the top. Ooh, some women are just confident. I am always chasing my man. I think that's awesome. And I think women need to do that. I think women don't need to, be adventurous. Be upfront. Tell your man you want him and love him. Guys, we want to feel that way too. We want to be flirted with just like you ladies want to be flirted with by your man, right? And a lot of times when that dies, you both are left feeling in a relationship that you don't feel desired, you don't feel maybe loved, you don't have that spark and the pizzazz. So that is a huge way of kicking that back, is the flirtiness, that you make each other feel wanted. And I love your word, Fu, about being chased a little bit, right? You don't want to play games chasing, but it's a way that you are being more upfront, knowing that your husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, partner, whatever, is wanted and desired. So I'm all about being upfront. The playfulness approach, maybe a little joking around, or some people might be a little, teasing. Ooh, right? A guy comes up to you, looks at you. Oh, my God, I can't believe you're actually wearing those shoes in public. And starts laughing, right? Oh, my God. My grandmother wore an outfit like that before. Sort of looks pretty good on you. That you can joke around, but you need to, and ladies, you can rip on guys, right? And I talked about this a while ago, a couple weeks ago, I think, about trying to bring out the little boy or bring out the little girl. Not the immature kid, but you bring out the joking, the playfulness in you guys, and it reduces tension, it reduces stress, and sort of you can laugh. And when you kick up a good laugh and joke around a little bit, it releases the endorphins, and it also, you relieve the tension, right? So all about joking around. I know this, right? Not only maybe because of what I do, working with couples, body language, all this stuff, and trying to relax somebody, especially on a first date, that you joke around with them. And if you are the type that you are sort of very serious all the time, no, this is not going to work, and you are going to take it like the person is being rude or crude, and that's not the case. Just a little poking fun, joking around a little bit. Ladies, if you went up to a guy, whatever, oh, nice pants, oh, nice pants. My grandfather had a pair just like them. Or, I'm being sort of corny, whatever. But you can slam each other. Oh, my God, nice haircut. Shit. I thought those went back in the 80s, went out in the 80s. You can slam each other, joking around, little, flirting back and forth. The playful flirting black and no, it can be jokes. You don't want to be mean. Remember that. You're trying to be cute. And when you say a joke, end it with a smile, right? That sort of smiling eyes and everything, so they know you're joking in your playfulness. You could go in, they give you a hug or even whatever, and depending on the situation, first meeting, whatever, you go out, get a hug, and, oh, my God, did you forget your deodorant? How many people would shit their pants and get self-conscious about that? Is that sort of a dorky way of going when you're nervous and the other person's like, oh, my God, really? No, I'm only kidding. I'm only busting your chops. No, hold on, I'm just kidding. You can joke around, be playful about that, whatever. Oh, my God, you didn't even brush your hair for a date, And some women are insecure about this. Some guys are too, okay? So you can joke around and slam. It can go about, anything, about music. Oh, my God, you like that type of music? Joke around and smile when you say it, so they know you're joking around with the joking around flirtatious aspect. This is loss. It's loss. How many people in relationships, I talk about this, and I'll ask them, how often do you guys joke around with each other? Boy, yeah, we used to a lot. Like what? Used to like a month ago? No, probably 10 years ago, maybe 8 years ago. Yeah, probably 17 years ago. The playfulness, we need that. Most of us need that, right? There are people that are serious all the time, and most people don't want to be around them, okay? They're downers, negative all the time. Joking around makes us feel good. Smiling makes us feel good, right? Like I mentioned, kicks up our mood, kicks up the endorphin, our natural body's painkillers. And it also, a little playfulness. When was the last time you flirted around and being playful? Right? How many ladies went up to your guy and sort of grabbed their ass? Oh, baby, I want this. And you can joke around a little bit. Maybe the tickle fights. And we talked about pillow fighting, that you joke around and you rip on each other. But you want to make sure, again, if it is a sore spot in a relationship and it really hits at the heart or the soul of your partner and you know it's going to hurt them, right? Then you don't do it. If you're joking around and say, couples in an affair situation, do you joke around about that? I don't think so. It could be, a while. And what happens if your partner cheated on you and you look at the situation and sort of you're joking around, oh, yeah, I know you. Yeah, you like to bang her on. You're joking around, whatever. Or, oh, yeah, look at him. Yeah, I bet you'd want to do him. Joe, you do him in a heartbeat. Yeah, I know you slut, whatever. Hey, then it comes out, hey, why? You didn't do it anymore. So you're joking, but the underlying hurt and the dig is there. You need to stop that, okay? So playfulness around the flirting aspect, and look at how can you be playful? Do you get into squirt gun fights? Do you, whatever, in the winter, snowball fights? What do you do to joke around and play with each other, right? Do you sort of have tickle fights or little pinch fights? You don't want to hurt, right? Whatever. You joke around. Do you, rip on each other? Tease each other. Get the playful flirtiness going around. It can be, like I mentioned at the beginning of the art of, the flirting, using the playfulness approach. It's just my thing, and I use it, and I can use empathy and compassion, and because I care about people, I can mix the two together, and that's me. I want you to be genuine, be real. Look at the situation of, bringing out that little kid to joking around. When was the last time you went to even a comedy club or watch comedies, man? You can get some awesome ideas if you lost them or forgot some ideas to joke around, and the playfulness between you guys. Little, tickling their feet or joking around, or little, oh my God, when was the last time, this sounds like a kid, when was the last time you gave your partner a wet willy? Right? Remember, you lick your finger and stick it in their ear? There's little things that you can do, or even playfulness. When was the last time freaking guys, I don't know why guys do this, and it's not so funny when women do it, but, you watch your guy sort of coming out in the middle of the living room, and he's freaking got your bra and bra and panties on. And he's maybe a cross-dresser, but maybe not. Just joking around, and he's sort of cupping the bras like, oh my God, I love how do my tits look, man? My boobs are hot today, don't you think? The playfulness, the joking around aspects that you can do, right? Bring that back. I talk about pillow fights seem corny, but the joking around with each other. But again, you don't want to joke around and be flirty by playfulness by hitting on a nerve that it's going to do some damage. You don't want to joke around about something like, any matters of an affair, right? Or that really, really hit a nerve with insecurities on people. You don't ever want to do that because that's going to kill emotional distance, right? So get back to the playfulness. And I think we lose it, when kids are born, and we lose that, and, it's drama and it's stress, and we don't feel like playfulness. But if you use the flirty playfulness in your relationship, you can also, it'll reduce the stressors. You can laugh more, and you might be able to look at the world in all the chaos that we have going on in our life in a different perspective. So jazz it up with the playfulness a little bit, right? Be sincere when you're flirting, right? Be sincere if you want to use that. You want to ask somebody out, tell them, you know what? I'm interested, man. I'd like to buy you a drink. I'd like you to, oh my God, I used to do the, hey, when are you gonna buy me? You need to buy me a drink sometime. And how many ladies are used to hearing that from a guy, right? What would you do if you're out there? Hey, yeah, you need to buy me a drink sometime. Ladies, how would you handle that? That's sort of playfulness, right? And maybe if the woman's can joke around, yeah, I'll buy you a drink, then you buy me another one, right? You buy the second round. That's cool. Sort of playfulness, but you're also letting them know that you're interested. You would like that, right? The physical. when you're closer, you reach in, a little bit of touching, subtle touching when you're first meeting somebody. You don't want to come over the top with it, but you can joke around and all this stuff, right? Sit closer. If you like the person or they like you, they're going to get closer. They're going to lean in. They're going to have subtle touches like the individual on chat mentioned about, little flirty underneath the table. Once they're going to think it's an accident. Second time, maybe third time, some guys are dense. I agree. They might not pick it up, right? Oh, they're just kicking their feet, used to that, and they might, oh my God, would you quit kicking me? And you're like, damn it, I'm doing it on purpose to grab your attention, to let you know I'm into you. You might have to come out and spell it, okay? The playfulness, use that. Be sincere, right? Okay. Manners, always that, but don't go over the top. Or you're going to come across as cheesy. You're going to come across as not real. You're not going to come across as disingenuous, right? So, for just an hour show, there is a lot to cover. So, hopefully some insights to cover up, right? So, pick up on the nonverbals. Pick up on the body language, ladies and gentlemen. Are they sort of staring at you? Everybody knows that tends to be, right, the difference. Are they staring at you and you're not interested, and all of a sudden you think they're a creep? Then how do you do that, right? If they don't respond, they don't look back at you, then maybe you need to not stare at them so much. Maybe you need to, right? Maybe they're shy. You can try it a couple times. But if they don't show a response, or they sort of roll their eyes while you're staring at them, or they look at you like, quit staring at me, then you know what? You don't want that sort of not so subtle that they're not interested, right? Then you need to stop, or they're going to get a PPO out after your ass, okay? So, thank you very much for listening. I so hope that you were able to gain some insights. It's a short show tonight about being flirty and everything else, okay? Use these concepts. Playful. Don't be afraid to touch. And look at what you were doing. Those in a relationship, especially long-term relationship or married for a while, look back at, what you were doing to show each other that you were interested, the flirtatiousness, the closeness, the physical flirtation aspects, right? The joking around aspects. What were you guys doing? Kick that up a notch, right? And those in the single life out there looking for somebody and you're interested in somebody, hopefully tonight's show will be able to gain some insights and maybe, look at what can I do to show someone I'm interested in. I know I'm a little shy. I can be subtle. Or do I be more, like I said, more sincere and direct and say, you know what, hi, how's it going? I'm so-and-so. There's nothing wrong with that. And I think that, that works well. Okay? This is the Art of Relationships radio show. Remember, the new night that the show will be on, it's going to move from Sunday night, so scratch that off your calendar. I will be on now for long-term basis on Monday evening from 10 until midnight Eastern time, okay? I'm going to be on the Fishbowl Network, Fishbowl Radio Network. Like I said, they get 1.8 million listeners per month. So I'm going to be with them. The time slot works better. I think it's going to be a lot better format and more, what do I want to say? More social media mechanisms and everything else. Let people know about the show and hopefully helping more people out there. So that's what it's all about. Helping you out there, the listeners, okay? This is the Art of Relationships radio show. Have an awesome hump night. Go Red Wings. And much love to everybody out there. I will be back here Monday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Talk to you soon. Thank you. Art of Relationships radio show is copyrighted. No one is to use any part of the show without express written consent from myself, Greg Dzinski, or the Art of Relationships. Thank you.